Conor McGregor is back? Conor McGregor is planning to fight again. The former two-division UFC champ hasn't fought since breaking his leg in 2021, but now he's planning a big comeback as he just re-entered the UFC's drug testing program, which is a required step before returning to the octagon. McGregor says he wants to fight at a special UFC event being planned at the White House in 2026. This event is part of the America 250 celebration, and even President Donald Trump is backing it. UFC boss Dana White has confirmed the event is in the works for July 2026, and lots of fighters are already lining up to be part of it. McGregor wants to headline the blockbuster event.
They're testing me. I'm in the pool. He always say, man, I thought that's what the pools are for, jumping in and out. But I'm back in the pool, so get ready and stay ready, because damage will be done. Oval Office, White House.
According to UFC's anti-doping records, Conor McGregor was tested 11 times in 2024. But in 2025, he hasn't been tested even once. That likely means he dropped out of the testing program sometime before the start of the new year. The UFC updates these records weekly, and so far, McGregor's name hasn't shown up. But since fighters are tested randomly, there's no way to know exactly when he'll be required to give a urine or blood sample. Jon Jones eyeing shock comeback. Now, Conor McGregor isn't the only UFC legend wanting to feature on the White House card. Jon Jones wants to bounce back into the equation as well, after recently retiring and vacating his heavyweight title. Why? Because President Donald Trump announced plans for a historic UFC event at the White House in July 2026, and that, according to Jones, would be bigger than boxing events like Thrilla in Manila and Rumble in the Jungle, featuring the late and great Muhammad Ali.
Thrilla in Manila, the Rumble in the Jungle, it's up there with that.
I mean,
actually, it could be bigger than that.
Really?
Yeah, it could be bigger than the Thrilla.
Bigger than the Thriller, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. But who?
Jones is eyeing the main event of a potential White House card, and ideally, he wants to fight whoever is holding the heavyweight belt by then.
Who would be your dream opponent?
I would want to take on whoever's holding the belt at the end of the year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any possible names you think?
But, no, I mean, as of right now, the champion is Tom Aspinall, but we'll see who's the champion at the end of the year. And I feel like it'd be only fitting to have an American guy fight for the championship that night, and I'd be willing to put it all on the line.
Jones is likely heading for a showdown with Tom Aspinall for the undisputed UFC heavyweight title if Aspinall can hold on to the belt until July 2026. But if that doesn't happen, Colby Covington is down to fighting Jones at openweight if the fight takes place in White House. In a recent interview with Fox, Covington said, 100% I'd fight Jones in an open weight class. I got to fight there. The 250th celebration of America. What better way than to do it with the greatest promoters of all time, Donald Trump and Dana White and Hunter Campbell? So, it would be my great honor to fight at the White House on July 4th, 2026. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua in the works. The UFC is certainly making big moves, but so is Saudi Arabia's Turki Al-Sheikh, who recently revealed that he's working on a showdown between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. After dominating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Jake Paul surprisingly landed a top 15 WBA ranking in the cruiserweight division, and boxing purists weren't happy about it. Critics argue Paul still hasn't beaten a legit boxer, but supporters note that many ranked fighters also get soft matchups early on. Things are now getting crazier, with Turki Al-Sheikh, Saudi Arabia's top boxing promoter, saying that he's ready to book Jake Paul versus former heavyweight kingpin Anthony Joshua. In a recent podcast, Al-Sheikh said, "I'm not against Jake Paul. I am against some kinds of fights he does. I want to tell you an example and a surprise. I am thinking of me and him doing a fight against Joshua now. Let me explain it to you. Joshua against Jake Paul. If Joshua destroys him, the headache of Jake Paul will go from my mind. If Jake Paul wins, I will know that Joshua is finished, and Jake Paul deserves to be ranked and deserves to have a future in boxing." Right? Jake Paul accepted. Now next week, I will talk with Joshua about it. Max Holloway discredits Ilia Toporia's recent wins. Ilia Toporia is riding high after scoring 3 straight knockouts over big names, like Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, and Alexander Volkanovski, to claim both the featherweight and lightweight titles. But Holloway isn't fully impressed. He admits the names look great on paper, including his own, but points out that none of these names were at their peak or riding huge win streaks when Toporia beat them. Max said, "It's just tough, right?" Yeah, he beat the names, and you can't deny that. But then, when you look, it just sucks with everything that's going on when you look at that Volk fight. Volk coming off what he did in a knockout loss to Islam Makhachev? That's kind of crazy. But people just look at the name. They're not looking at the record. They're just like, oh, Alex was the champ, and then me, and then Charles. Charles was on a one-fight win streak. At the end of the day, they're just moments, and they're just names. It is one of the greatest names, for sure, that he beat in history. But the man is doing what he's supposed to do. The UFC are lining people up for him, and he's just knocking them down. So, fair play to him. UFC lightweight contender Renato Moicano doesn't agree with Holloway. He said, "If Volk did not win the belt again, I would agree with Max that Ilia fought him past his prime. At the same time, Volk is the champion now, so I don't agree with Holloway. Max, Charles, and Volkanovski. That is an impressive resume." Dustin Poirier may not be retiring. At UFC 318, is Dustin Poirier really retiring? UFC 318 is being shaped as Dustin Poirier's farewell, but we've all seen this story before when fighters retire and then come back. But Poirier's longtime coach, Mike Brown, genuinely believes this will be Poirier's final walk to the octagon, unless there is a big opportunity on the table for him. In a recent interview, Mike Brown said, "Poirier coming out of retirement? It would have to be something pretty enticing. That could always happen. But I think he's content with his accomplishments and content with the money he's made and what he's done." Ex-UFC fighter Diego Sanchez arrested. Former UFC fighter Diego Sanchez has been arrested in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on 2 gun-related charges. According to arrest records, the 43-year-old was booked just after midnight on Friday. He's facing a 4th-degree felony for shooting at or from a vehicle, though no one was hurt, and a misdemeanor for negligently discharging a weapon. As of now, Sanchez is still in custody, and a judge has not yet set his bail. Diego Sanchez was riding in the passenger seat of a car when he reportedly leaned out the window and fired a shot into the air while passing a crash scene. Police later pulled the car over and arrested Sanchez. He denied shooting the gun, but did admit there was one in the vehicle. The driver, who isn't facing any charges, told police that Sanchez was the one who fired the shot. At one point during the stop, Sanchez even started laughing while talking to the officers. His manager, Ricky Cottonstetta, told the media that Diego has been battling substance abuse issues for some time. He's been to rehab more than once, and they're hoping this latest incident leads to the help he really needs. Sean Strickland suspended. Former UFC middleweight champ Sean Strickland is in hot water again, this time for jumping into the cage and trying to fight someone at a local MMA event. According to reports, Strickland has been temporarily suspended by the Nevada State Athletic Commission after causing chaos at the Tough Enough 145 event last month in Las Vegas. Strickland wasn't there as a fighter, but was working as a licensed cornerman for his teammate, Miles Hunsinger. Unfortunately for Hunsinger, he lost the fight to Luis Hernandez by submission in the 2nd round. After the win, Hernandez apparently said something to Hunsinger's corner, and that's when things got wild. Strickland didn't take the comment lightly as he stormed into the cage and went after Hernandez, creating a serious scene in the middle of the event. As a result, NSAC handed him a temporary suspension while they figured out what to do next. That could mean a fine, a longer suspension, or both. Until the commission officially decides, Strickland can't fight or even corner other fighters in Nevada. What did you guys think of Diego Sanchez's arrest and Sean Strickland's suspension? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and we'll be picking the best ones for the next video. That's it for today's MMA news. Thanks so much for watching, and if you want daily updates and fresh content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. and we'll see you in the next one.